the text. How about charging that guy down at the pier, making terroristic threats? You said you had a bomb.
Right, that's what I would have think.
Yeah, like you said, inciting panic.
Absolutely.
What do you mean, no crime?
Yeah, we don't know if he committed a crime or not.
Okay.
Really?
All right. Well, then, clearly you're incompetent.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, man?
Right.
Jesus.
The Woody Show.
Hey, Woody Show. I am one of your senior listeners. I was at a concert the other day, and your people were there. And I talked to them and said, "Oh, the Woody Show doesn't fill me." They all agreed. Nobody likes Woody in your show. I think they all suck.
So you guys were getting all hippie on me on that Gator story right before the break.
I definitely was.
No, I know you.
Yeah,
I expect that from you, but yeah. But how about this for hippie? This mom in New York, she quit her job and she's now living in a tent with her son. Son's got to be psyched.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she says she's never been happier. Her name is Christine Blue. She's 41 years old, and she says, quote, "I went from being tied down to four walls, not being able to keep up with life and bills, to being completely free and at peace."
And homeless.
She racked up way too many bills, so that's why she quit her job, bought this tent, and put it up in her garden as opposed to like a part of this like 90-day camping challenge. Her son's 14, by the way.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's not awkward at all.
Son's name is Britton.
Britain.
After upgrading her tent and making a couple of tweaks, the full-time camper said she saved $48,000 and has never been happier. Now, the son splits his time between his mom's tent and his dad's house.
Yeah.
Something tells me this kid's going to be spending a lot more time
Stay with
With
Dad.
Dad.
at the
Dad's
house.
house has the Xbox.
She put the tent in her garden?
I don't know where it is now.
That's so
I think this
strange.
was like a trial at first, like a 90-day thing to see if we can do this. And then she did it, and then she upgraded the tent and made some tweaks. I'm not sure, because it sounds like she gave up wherever she was.
Right.
How did she save all that money? Like, you still have to pay for the property.
Right.
But you're
Well,
not
that's what
paying
we're
for
saying. She gave that
electricity,
up.
water.
Okay.
You're not paying all these other, expenses.
Yeah.
First thing I think of when I want to save money is quit my job.
Yeah.
What a weirdo.
I think I told you, like, dude, my one uncle is criminally cheap.
Mhm.
And he was going to my cousin's wedding, and he called my other uncle, his brother, and said, "Hey, it's cool if I stay with you." Now, keep in mind, this guy, he's got good money. He's had a very high-paying job for a long, long time.
But he's hella cheap.
He's set.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So criminally cheap. Calls my uncle, says, "Hey, can we stay with you?" And he goes, sorry, bro. My cousin and her friends and whatever, they're going to be kind of taking over the house, bride, the whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
He goes, well, okay. Shows up
Oh.
with a tent and asks to stay in the backyard. This guy's worth millions.
Oh, my God. Get a hotel.
I don't even want to stay at anybody's house, period.
Yeah.
Let alone the backyard tent.
Meanwhile, here's my uncle showed up with a tent to stay in his brother's backyard. He's in his late 70s.
Oh, my
That's
God.
weird.
What are you
That
doing,
is
dude?
So weird.
Like, what are you doing?
Have you ever had a discussion with them? Like, hey, why?
Everybody has. Like, why are you still working? Enjoy your retirement and whatever. Like, but he insists. He's a consultant now, so he gets paid pretty good money just to go around and not
Sure.
have to be super invested in any one thing.
Tell you
But-
how to do it.
But maybe that's the game for him. It's not about the money. It's just like, oh, how could I?
Oh no, it is
Not
about the money.
spend it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he takes after my grandfather, who was also criminally cheap.
Did he bring a cot?
Right? It's like, I was
was
like,
he
wouldn't that
sleeping
be
on the
bad for-
ground?
Yeah, air mattress.
slept in the backyard
Oh,
in
maybe
a
an air-
tent,
airbag,
and you're like
yeah.
pushing 80, man.
Wow. He brings his own bucket for pooping.
His own poo bucket.
It wasn't just him; it was him and his wife.
Oh, she must be thrilled.
I think she was down with it.
That's so
Really?
strange.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean, two peas in a pod that way.
I guess so.
I wonder if the company that he consults for found out about this. They'd say, like,
Yeah, you know what?
yeah,
Never
you know what?
mind.
you might need to go on sabbatical.
You're kind of a weirdo.
He's like, he's a super smart dude. He's not as weird as Seabass,
Well,
but I
who
think
is?
there are certain people, like, they're just wired a different way. I mean, I love him. He's, great guy. My uncle, I love him, and, whatever.
He's
But, like,
eclectic.
I would never do that. Not in a million years.
I'd be so embarrassed.
He's still playing, adult senior league softball, and, like, he just can't let stuff go,
Well, what's wrong with softball?
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm saying, but, like,
Senior league.
he's had his, like, back completely reconstructed with, like, pins and screws and bolts and everything. It's like, dude, at some point, like, you're not...
You got to be out there doing it.
Yeah.
You're not
you gotta
probably-
move.
You can't have him be sedentary.
No, but at the same time, it's like, you might need to relax a little bit.
It is senior softball.
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking from a
You
physical
know.
standpoint, Ravi.
I
Physical
know,
standpoint. The
that's
guy's
and that's
back
why
is
I'm
full of pins
saying
and screws
it
and
is
everything else.
senior softball.
You shouldn't be sleeping on the ground in your brother's backyard.
Well,
in a
that
tent.
I agree
Yeah,
with.
but the second you start sitting around, it's over. Your
Yeah.
life's done.
Well,
Exactly.
sitting is the new smoking, right?
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
especially when you're old like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
sit
none of us
2
will live
chairs
to
at
see
the-
that age.
No,
No,
not with this
different-
schedule. We're all,
Greg's
different-
going for 100.
I'm saying
Yeah.
for different reasons.
we're all
Yeah.
walking dead already.
Yeah, right.
We can exist on 3 hours a day of sleep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure
oh,
that's
it's
all
good for
broken
you.
up.
It's
Great
good
for
for
you,
you.
you know,
Yeah,
like-
all broken up.
like-
an hour here, an hour there.
Yep.
And then like maybe 1.5 at night.
Yep, that's how I do it.
That's awesome.
I would have never done this stupid schedule if it wasn't for Ravi. So every time she complains, I just go, hey, this is on you. I never had any ambition to do this schedule. She's like, oh, no, it'll be fun.
And it
It'll be
was.
fun. And then,
For a
and
while.
then, and then as people get older anyway, they go, oh, well, you know what? I just don't need a lot of sleep anymore.
Yeah.
Until now you're saying that you need all this sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It catches up to you
it sure does.
after 30 years.
Oh. 877-44 Woody. Text us over to 22987. What are some of the trending news headlines this morning, Greg Gorey?
Well, let's start with good news. The hope of winning the Powerball is still alive.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to look.
Heck yeah.
Alive.
I didn't buy any
Still,
tickets.
I was going to, but I didn't have cash on me, and the machine I was at only
Yep.
took cash.
Cash only.
Yeah.
Ah.
I was like, oh, crap.
So nobody hit all 5 numbers in the Powerball number last night. The jackpot would have been a very adorable 1.56 billion. So tomorrow's drawing, that'll have a jackpot of 1.73 billion.
I'll have cash on me.
Well, the
And
cash option's like 700 and some million.
756.
All
You can
right.
find a way to live on that.
I think you could. And then don't ask me how I would invest it. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Not for
I
a
wouldn't do a
second.
damn
Put in
thing.
stocks and bonds.
Nope.
Right?
I
Nope.
would do
CDs?
nothing. Nope.
Nope, hell no.
0. Nothing. Okay, now on to the bad news. The chaos in Israel. The death toll in the war has surpassed 1,000 people. And in response to the Hamas terrorist attacks and executions, Israel has totally bombarded Gaza. And now in response, Hamas has threatened to kill one hostage for every Israeli airstrike and broadcast those executions on TV. There's an estimated 150 people being held captive by Hamas.
I just assume that's already been done. Like the people that they've kidnapped,
Yeah,
for the most part.
I heard.
I don't think it's been done yet because
No,
they
'cause
want
they
to
wanna
do
broadcast it,
Yes. They want to do it methodically and as horrible as possible.
Yeah.
I heard a man on the news this morning whose brother is a hostage by Hamas, and they haven't heard from him. They don't know if
Yeah.
he's alive or
Well,
not.
I saw some story. ABC News was talking to this guy. His wife and 2 little girls had gone to go visit like their grandmother, and they got kidnapped because the guy got a call from his wife and said that the militants were like right outside, and then the call went dead, and now the phone pings to Gaza.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then he wasn't quite sure what was going on yet. But then in some of the coverage, there was like a truck with all these people, all these hostages in the back, and he spotted his wife and he spotted one of his
Oh.
little girls. Can you imagine that?
No, not
Yeah.
for 1 second.
Yeah.
The Biden administration says the U.S. has no intention of putting boots on the ground, but the Navy is in the region.
Okay, Israel's going to take care of it. Like I don't know why you poke that bear. Like you can have all your crazy militants running in like rats and whatever else, but like, dude, Israel does not mess around. They will annihilate you.
Well, that's what they have been doing.
Yeah, and that will
Yeah.
continue. And it's just going to be merciless.
Yeah, Netanyahu said this will, quote, change the Middle East.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Now, I asked this question with love. Yesterday, you guys said you didn't see a lot of what's happening
I didn't say
sentiment.
that. I saw a lot of that.
I'm seeing nothing but that.
Yeah.
And they had rallies in New York, Seattle, London.
Sentiment for Palestine.
Absolutely. And not only that, and you can maybe in some way understand the plight because
Sure,
it's a
sure,
very
sure.
nuanced, complicated
Sure, and
history.
as we said yesterday,
But I'm seeing people rallying saying, good, they get what they deserve. And
Israel.
even when they point out, whether you agree or disagree with the dispute over the land, they agree with the tactics and they're rallying for
Yeah.
the tactics.
Yeah,
and
which is
you're
ridiculous.
You're seeing that you're seeing it at colleges everywhere.
Yeah.
It's unreal. Well, after Hamas launched that military,
Israel's like the really nice house that's right in the middle of the ghetto.
Mm.
And if it wasn't over land, it'd be like one of those situations where can we lift the house, put it on a truck, and bring it to another. Like, let's just go sit it right next to, like, London or something like that, or somewhere else, and then let that neighborhood just kind of go.
Yeah, just move the whole thing. After this military terrorist assault on Israel, oil prices have jumped up $3 a barrel. So this is going to affect gas prices in the USA. And experts say the violence will derail any U.S. efforts to broker any deals between Saudi Arabia and Israel. And Saudi Arabia was going to normalize their ties with Israel in return for a defense deal with the USA, but any normal relations are now frozen. So this basically puts everything into total chaos.
Yeah.
And then the other big news from yesterday, lifelong Democrat Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's running for president, officially announced that he is ditching the Democrats and he's going to run as an independent. He's an environmental lawyer and an anti-vax advocate, and he says going independent will put peace and diplomacy first and close loopholes in our budget.
Well, this is Bernie all over again then. Isn't it going to weaken the Democratic Party to have this independent?
I think it'll be the other way around because
Really?
Republicans require independent voters to win. Democrats usually are safe in that regard. Perot.
Right.
People blame
Ross
Perot and then
Republicans
Ralph
for years,
Nader.
yeah.
Anytime there's an independent, it kind of throws off the entire election. RFK has 4 people who are very much not on his side for going independent, and those are his brothers and his sisters. They put out a statement saying that Robert might share a name with our father, but he doesn't share our values and our vision. His decision to go independent, quote, is deeply saddening for us.
Oh, wow, you mean he's his own person?
Yeah.
Wow.
We denounce his candidacy and believe it's perilous for our country.
You're part of this family, so therefore this is what you're supposed to
You
think,
must
believe, and
think
act.
like
okay,
us.
got it.
Right.
Is his wife the chick from Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Cheryl.
wife from-
I knew she was married to a Kennedy, and I thought it was him.
What's her name? Cheryl Hines?
Cheryl Hines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's RFK's wife?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Good for him.
She seems cool.
Well, that's what's happening, Wood.
Can you imagine, like, oh, well, because you're part of this family or because of whatever, like, you think
gotta
this
follow
way,
the line.
Toe the line.
feel this
Toe
way.
the line.
That just, I mean, I would never vote for him, but it makes me like him more. It makes me respect him more. Like, good. You know what? That's a lot of pressure.
Free thinker.
You're a Kennedy?
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
really.
a
You're going against
Democrat.
that-
He's an anti-vaxxer. He's always been a free thinker.
Yeah. But I didn't know anything about the guy until he started running.
And I was
Yeah.
45 seconds ago old when I found out he was married to Cheryl Hines.
I knew he was married
Yeah.
to somebody famous, but I forget.
She's in
What?
Bad Moms.
Yeah.
One of the all-time
wow.
greats.
One of the best movies
Yeah.
of all
Oh my
time.
God,
Yeah.
that is like,
A classic.
I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
it's his
It's
Gone with
Bad
the Wind.
Moms, guys.
Yeah, Bad Moms.
It's his Citizen Kane.
It's so good.
Bad Moms.
I'm going to watch that today.
that's like Greg's Gone with the Wind.
Totally.
Like, that's one of his, he references that movie so many times.
Oh, I love it. So good.
877-44-WOODY. Hit us up with a text over to 229.
I'm going to watch Bad Moms 2.
More
Oh,
Woody
that
Show.
one sucks.
More Woody Show's next, Hank.
Woody Show's gonna step away. Be right back though. Soon. Think of kittens.